Hello guys, my name is Gannon and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to tell you my English journey, how I started learning English. So here for those beginners who just want to learn English, but while learning English they feel bored. So that's why I just want to tell you my story, how I started learning English. So it was time to 2002, I think, when I was uh, maybe 12 and 13 years old. So that time I was engrossed with my friend playing games and wandering hither and thither. That time uh, I was just a villager. Even nobody in, told me that you should study. Why are you wasting your time, and why are you wandering hither and thither? So that time we are like villagers, so we didn't do anything. But uh, sometimes I used to go to school. So some of my friends also used to go to school with me, but that school it's like there is nothing study. We just went sometimes and just go back to home. We didn't learn anything from the school. Anyhow, I passed 8th class, and after that I said to my mom that no, I will not study further. So I will help my father working in the farm. So my parents also, they didn't know about value of the study. So they agreed and they said, okay, if you don't want to study, so you can work at farm. So I started working at farm. But when I meet when I met some of my friends who said, what are you doing, yeah, what's going on? I said, no, nothing, I just work at my farm. They said, why are you wasting your time doing work at your farm? Why don't you make your career? But I said, but how can I make my career? He said, they said, you should study, you should, because without study you can't get any job for you. So they made me understand. Then I said okay. So I came back to home and I started insisting my mother that, mom, I also want to study. My mom said, no, there is no use to study. Why do you want to waste your time and money? I said, no, mom, I don't know, but I want to study. Then I convinced my mother, and after that I took admission and I started going to college. So when I gave my exam, and after when I got my result, I saw, so I found myself fail. So when I came back to home and I told my parents that I got fail, they said, no, okay, don't worry, because I I know that they don't they didn't know the value of study. So I next year I again took admission. So it was really very hard nut to crack for me, because though I took admission in 10th class, but that time I didn't know anything about study. Even when I passed 8th class, so in order to check whether I am first grade, second grade and third grade, I went to one of my neighbor and I asked him, hey, could you please tell me what is my grade in my result? So he told me that your grade is first. So that time I totally it's like a blazer, I didn't know even number. So it was that's why I quit my study. But my some of my friend insisted me to study, so that's why I started. So next year I managed to pass 10th class, and after that I uh, took my admission in first year, and after that I passed my 12th class. After 12th class, one day I thought, though I am 12th pass, but in the name of study I didn't know anything. So what should I do? If anyone asks me, okay, you are past 12th class, so you must have knowledge about study. But that's why I thought I should do something special, so that whatever uh, people ask me I can reply. So I decided to learn English because it was my favorite subject. But that time I didn't know about Hindi, let alone English. So anyhow, I managed a book from my friend's home, and that was a grammar book. So I started, whenever I get, whenever I got time. I didn't get time every day, and I didn't used to study every day. So whenever I got time, I started learning tenses from that grammar book. And most of the time I study when my some of my relative and guest came at my home. So in order to show them that I study uh, on English. I have an English book and I am learning English. So when they saw me studying English, they got happy. They said, "Wow, you are studying English." I said, "Yes." And just I wanted to show them that I study in English. But if talk about my English knowledge, there was nothing. So most of the time I work at my farm. I just played with my friends. So I didn't take serious about my English. So anyhow I managed to learn tenses and some basic word. And when I tried to speak by myself, I failed. So I give up my English. I said, okay, this is no, uh, I should not learn English, because being a villager, if I learn English, so there is no benefit. So I just give up. And I again started working at my farm. But one day when I bought a mobile, it was a time when everyone started buying mobile. So I also bought a mobile, and I started watching movies, playing games, and listening music. Because that time in village area we rarely got time to watch movie and listening song. But when I bought mobile, so I engrossed watching movies and listening song. But one day I thought, if I can learn some, if I can listen song, what I can watch movie. So if I search any teacher on my mobile, so maybe I can get something from there. So then I searched English, because that time I didn't know how to search. But I spoke. There was a my symbol on the YouTube. I just spoke, because I don't know how to write English. I didn't know how to write English. So I spoke English. And when I spoke English, as soon as I spoke English, there were so many people started showing on my mobile screen. And I selected one of them, and I started watching. And he was very well. He was teaching English very well. But after watching, I didn't get anything. However, I decided myself that okay, from now I stop listening music and watching movies, but I learn English, whether I'm getting understand or not. Gradually, I started learning, and after that I started learning. I completed my tenses, and I completed some basic word, and then I started practicing by myself. Whenever I got time, I spoke myself. First I spoke. I just used to make stories, because those teachers were telling us that if you want to become fluent in English, you should make story as many as you can. So whenever I got time, I just started so many stories. It could be fake and real, such as now I am going to tell you how I practiced when I was learning English, making stories. So such as, okay, yesterday I was at my home. It was 12 o'clock. Suddenly it started raining. So when it started raining, so I I went upstairs in order to collect my clothes, because it may get drenched. So I immediately went upstairs and I collected my clothes and I came downstairs. Suddenly it started raining cats and dogs. So since it was a great weather, so I asked my mother, hey mom, why don't you make something, because this is a good weather. But she said, no, I don't have anything to make. So do one thing, why don't you go to nearby grocery shop and buy something. I said okay. Then my mother gave me 20 rupees and I took umbrella and I went to nearby grocery shop and I bought 2 packets of Maggie and I came back home, and then I handed over those Maggie packets to my mom, and my mom made a good very good Maggie and I ate. And after that I again started studying. So it was a small story. By this way I just whatever I knew that time I just created story. And after creating a story, uh, I should also practice, asking question and reply, because uh, the more you practice, the more you will be better in English. So if I ask some question related this English, so okay I can ask, okay so Ganan, where were you yesterday around 12 o'clock? Yesterday I was at my home. Okay, so what were you doing? I was doing nothing, but when I was at home suddenly it started raining. Okay, so what did you do? Do you like rainy season? Yeah, of course I love rain. Okay, so what did you do when it started raining? When it started raining, so I went upstairs. Why did you go upstairs? I went upstairs in order to collect my clothes. Okay, so after that what did you do? After that, since it was a good weather, so I asked my mother to make something. So did she make? No, she didn't make. She said I don't have anything to do to make. So what did you do? I said, my mother said to me, okay, go to nearby shop and bought something whatever you want to eat. Okay, so did your mother give you money? Yes, my mother gave me money. How much money did she give you? She gave me 20 rupees. Okay, so while going to nearby shop, didn't you get drenched? No, I didn't get drenched because I had umbrella. Okay, so what did you buy from the grocery shop? I bought 2 Maggie packets. Okay, do you like Maggie? Yes, I love Maggie. Okay, so did your mother make? Yes, my mother made. Oh wow. So guys, you can also create any small story and ask so many questions by yourself. So if you do this, I must say that after 2 to 3 weeks you will be able to speak something, you can describe something. And don't go for advanced grammar, advanced structure, idiom, phrases, collocation, and there were so many things. If you are able to speak uh, something such as tenses and basic word, it's enough for you. And after that you can learn gradually idioms and phrases. But you must practice on basic. If your basic is good, you are able to speak English in front of anyone without hesitate. So I must that I must say that you have loved my video. So please start practicing, and if you like this video, subscribe and like. So keep practicing. Thank you so much everyone.